he told her, you're not an ordinary person. Your mother is an Apsara. You're going to be a great queen. After this, Satyavati went back home that day smelling like flowers. Now, Krishna Dvaipayana is Veda Vyasa later. Every time when we read Vishnu Sahasranamam, it says, Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnavi. Vyasa is Vishnu himself. These rishis are very powerful. They don't have to have a physical relationship to get children. Veda Vyasa was like the media recording every incident that was happening in the battlefield. He covered every single warrior, whether it is the Pandavas or the Kauravas. He covered every single one of them. That is how the Mahabharata was written. Mathioli Charanam, Nandalala. Sage Vyasar, Vyasa Muni, Veda Vyasa. So important. Such an important, significant character in our puranas. And a big reason why we celebrate Guru Purnima too. It's honoring him and his, whatever he's given us, the rich epics and the Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, all the Vedas that he has compiled. So to honor him, even the name Veda Vyasa means compiler of the Vedas. Veda Vyasa means compiler of the Vedas. Such a prominent identity in our history. Without him, we wouldn't be having our Vedas, the epic Mahabharata and the Bhagavatam. Both Mahabharata teaching us so many lessons. So many lessons. You pick, it's there. You pick a characteristic, it is there. Any issue, relationships, politics, enmity, love, marriage, everything is covered in Mahabharata. The essence of bhakti is carried in Bhagavata. The essence of duty is carried in Mahabharata. So bhakti yoga is derived from Bhagavatam. And karma yoga is derived from Mahabharata. So it's amazing how he has given us all these lessons in these format. No wonder he is the one we seek blessings on Guru Purnima, because he is the Guru. Now, who is he? He is the son of Satyavati. Now, Satyavati rings a bell. That is from Mahabharata again. Shantanu, King Shantanu's wife. So he is the son of Satyavati and sage Parashara. Now, Satyavati, before she met Shantanu, that is when Veda Vyasa happened. Let's go deeper into that. So, sage Parashara, who's the father of Veda Vyasa, Sage Parashara is a grandson of Sage Vasishta. Now, where have we heard of Vasishta? In Ramayana, Lord Rama's guru, the Kula Guru of that kingdom, Lord Rama, King Dasharatha used to take guidance from Sage Vasishta. Now, he was the grandfather of Sage Parashara. Now, Sage Parashara traveled a lot. He never stood in one place or stayed in one place. He was a traveler. So he traveled a lot from one place to another, and he was the one who compiled Vedic scriptures on astrology. So he's the Maharishi who compiled everything to do with astrology. He's even called the father of Vedic astrology. So that's how much he has knowledge of that. So now when we talk about the Hora Shastras, anything to do with horoscope, anything to do with time, Nalla Nero, that, this, and whatever calendar we see, is all his contribution. So that is where the horoscope and everything comes in. So he was the father of astrology. So his father, that is Sage Parashara's father, we know his grandfather, but who was his father? His father was Shakti Maharishi, and the mother was Adrishyanti. Now, Shakti Maharishi was killed by a demon. So Sage Parashara was having a lot of vengeance when it came to asuras or demons. So he did a big yagam to kill, eliminate all of them. So he eliminated a lot of them. But after a point, Sage Vasishta came and intervened and told him not to keep vengeance in his heart so much, not to kill so many asuras at once, because there are asuras who are good too. Not all asuras are bad. Remember, our Prahlada also is an asura clan, if you remember. He's not bad. So there are many who are not bad. So what happened with Parashara is his enmities, vengeance got to him so much that he started just killing every single asura, whether good or bad. So Sage Vasishta came and stopped him and said, that's enough. Whatever you've done is enough for now. You need to do more. And that's when he got out of that vengeance frame, and he broke that and he started traveling. Now Parashara started traveling, and that is when he met with Satyavati on his travel. He traveled and spread his knowledge about astrology, and he knew the star alignment at any possible time. He knew, like I said, the good time, bad time, all this he knew. So that's when one time when he was approaching the river Narmada, he got to know that there is a very good star alignment. And at that time, if he gave birth to a child, it will be a Vishnu avatar, an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Now, all he needed was a woman, a lady. So when he approached the river, he saw the ferry, the boat was there. There was no man visible, but there was a lady standing there. Who was that? Satyavati. Satyavati was just waiting for a passenger, and here comes Sage Parashara. It was almost, during sunset. Sage Parashara came and he sat there, and he just had to tell her. He approached and he told her the truth. He said, you're not an ordinary person. So who is Satyavati? A little small introduction. Satyavati was born to a fish. Now, not literally, but this was an apsara. The fish was an apsara who was cursed to be a fish. Okay, so she gave birth to 2 children, and that is one son and one daughter. And the son was adopted by a king. But the king didn't want the girl child. So the girl child was adopted by the fisherman community. So that's how she comes into the fisherman community. And she smelt of fish, obviously, because she was born to a fish. She was really a foul smell. That is how she smelled. When you approached her, she smelled of fish. Now, when Sage Parashara met her, he was telling her who she was, and she understood what her where her background is and what it was. And she was astonished that the sage knew so much. So he told her, "You're not an ordinary person. Your mother is an apsara. And she was cursed, and that is how you were born." And she was very surprised to know her history. Now, he said, you just landed up here um, because this was a part of your journey, but you're going to be a great queen. So he told her that also, because she's going to be the queen of Hastinapur, correct? So he told her that also. And he said, "But I need a favor from you. Right now, the star alignment is such that if I had a baby now, that would be an avataram of Lord Vishnu. And that will come of help to you even tomorrow if you need." So she thought about it and she said, "Well, I hope I won't lose my virginity." He said, "No, you will not. I promise you that. Because I just have to hold your hand," he said. "Yeah, that's how it is." Because how did Kunti have a child with the sun god? There was no physical relationship. He just blessed and there was a child in her hand. So a lot of books do say that, I mean, not books as in, when you go on the internet mainly, not books. A lot of them say that they had a relationship, physical relationship. It is not true. Sage Parashara is capable of having a child without having any physical relationship. So he just held her hand. So even for that, she said, if someone sees us, they are going to misunderstand us. So what he did was he created a mist-like formation around the boat so that no one can see them alone in the boat. Because then he needed that alone time to do his meditation and, get this child on earth. So he created that mist-like atmosphere and he held her hand. And the child was born, and immediately the child grew also to a state where it can go with the father. So there was not even a little while the child spent with Satyavati. This is how Sage Parashara did, and that's why there was no evidence of all this happened. Satyavati just got back home like nothing happened, or like in any other regular day. So no one knew, not her father, nobody knew. This was like a secret kept between the sage and her, and now the son knows. So this is how the child was born, and he was named Krishna Dvaipayana because he was dark in color, so he was named Krishna, and Dvaipayana because he was born in an island in the middle of the river. So that is why the name. Now he grew and he went with his father. He was like a 10, 11-year-old boy, and he just walked. He told the mother, though, if ever you need me in future, just call out to me and I will be there. So now he's gone with Sage Parashara. Now that chapter is very important because Satyavati was the biggest instrument for this, and she is the mother of Veda Vyasa. Now Krishna Dvaipayana is Veda Vyasa later. So we'll come to know that. So all the knowledge that he received from Sage Parashara, it was alone with him and Veda Vyasa alone. He gained a lot of knowledge from his father, who was very knowledgeable, and he got to know the Vedas and Shastras, everything from his father. That's why we also come, we read this line every time when we read Vishnu Sahasranamam. It says, Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. It says it right there very clearly. Vyasa is Vishnu Rupaya. Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. That is Vishnu himself. Now, Satyavati, after all this episode happened, she even, one more thing, she asked the Rishi for a boon. Because she agreed to do this for him, she asked for a boon, saying, I smell very bad. Every time people come approach me, they say I smell like fish. Is it possible for you to change that for me and make me smell like flowers? So he said, of course. So after this whole thing, the child left. Satyavati went back home that day smelling like flowers. So after that, she smelled only like flowers. So that's why King Shantanu met her and he could not resist the smell. She smelled so good. The minute he approached her, he couldn't resist. She was already very beautiful. But then this was the only thing that was preventing people from coming near her. She was very beautiful from the distance. So now King Shantanu fell in love with her and they had two sons, Vichitravirya and Chitrangada. Now, Chitrangada was the oldest one. He passed away due to some health issues. And Vichitravirya had two wives, Ambika and Ambalika. Now, even Vichitravirya, of course, died very young, leaving two widows, Ambika and Ambalika. So now Satyavati is very stressed because there is no heir to the throne. For Hastinapur, there is no heir to the throne. So now just the princess, both of them are there. Then she realized she has a son who's a big sage. By then, he is Veda Vyasa. And she knew that he could help her. Though he's a Maharishi, he has taken celibacy. All that, according to her, right? So she was like, he's the only person who can help me now. She approached Bhishma and she said, can you please marry Ambika and Ambalika? And Bhishma said, I'm sorry, you're the person who actually made me take the vow that I will not marry anymore. And I did. Because Satyavati was the one who forced him to take the vow in the first place. And now, see the situation the Lord creates, right? Now she needs a heir and she has no way. And even when she asked Bhishma, he said, I'm sorry, I've taken a vow. I can't go against it now. So then Satyavati was thinking, and then that's when Veda Vyasa came to her mind, and she went back to Bhishma and she had to tell him about her past. So she told him about her passing. Rishi Parashara came and approached her, and all this happened. And Veda Vyasa was born, and he is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Bhishma was stunned. He said, of course, then you should ask him for help. And she also said, let's keep this between us. And he said, sure, no problem, I will do that. So Veda Vyasa came. As promised, Satyavati called out to him and he came. He said, Mother, what is it? How can I help you? Now he showed up and she asked him to help Ambika and Ambalika to have children. So he said, well, I would not have done it. It's just because you're asking, I will do it. So they prepared Ambika in the room and all that. Same thing. There was no physical relationship. These rishis are very powerful. They don't have to have a physical relationship to get children. They just have to pass on the energy and, everything is with energies. So he entered the room Ambika was ready. But the minute she saw him, she couldn't keep her eyes open. She just closed her eyes. She couldn't see him because he's been doing penance and his locks hair is a mess, and they're all used to prince and kings around them. They're princess, so they're not used to these kind of folks. And alone in a room with him was even more scary. So she immediately closed her eyes. She's like, I don't want to see this. So he went and held her hand, and she's closed her eyes with so much fear. And so that's when Dhritarashtra was born, blind. Because she closed her eyes, he was born blind. Now, Ambalika, as soon as she saw him, she became pale. She was like, she lost all her energy. She just wanted to faint immediately. So that is how Pandu was born. Very weak, very pale. Always he's sick. Now Satyavati got to know the reactions of these princesses. So what she did was, can we please try again? She went and approached Ambika. She said, can you please try again? Go back again and give him another chance. She didn't want to go. So what she did was she sent her maidservant. She said, please, you go instead of me. The queen is not going to, no, you go. So the maidservant, being so duty bound, she went. She had to listen to her boss, right? The princess being her boss. She listened to her. She said, okay. And she went, and she was so full of Shraddha. When she sat in front of the Muni, she was not scared. She was not perturbed. She knew that this was Veda Vyasa and full of devotion, so wise and so full of clarity. She sat there and she let him hold her hand. And she was very much present there at that moment. And because of that, the great Vidur was born. So Viduran was the child of a maid, but had the sense and the characteristics of a wise man. Everything was there because of the mother. See how important the mother is? So this little small scene tells you how important a mother's feeling and emotion and mental state is for her baby to be healthy. Another lesson from Mahabharata. That is why when a lady is carrying and she's pregnant, people say, listen to good things. Think good. Think positive. Because all that gets instilled in the child. That this episode, obviously, they don't carry the child for so long either. But see how much that effect is, that mother's feelings matter so much. So now he did his duty and he walked away. That's it. Done. All done. And he walks away. They have a heir to the throne now. And Veda Vyasa also did a lot of penance. Lot of penance. The penance was so severe. He wanted a good son. And so he did a lot of penance for Lord Shiva. Lord Indra was so stressed out. Always Indra gets stressed out when a person who's very powerful starts doing penance. So to an extent that,
it kind of, that energy is so huge that the devas are shaking. So everybody knows there's a great man doing penance. So he ran to Lord Shiva and he said, Swami is doing penance. I'm getting stressed. So Lord Shiva says, don't worry, he doesn't want your throne. He's not here to ask for it. He's doing it for, he wants a good son. That's why he's doing it. So don't worry about it. And so Lord Shiva shows up and gives him a boon that he will get a beautiful son and he will shine and keep his glories and fame. And he will have good virtues. This is what Lord Shiva says. And that is Sukadev. We have even come across Sukadev as a name in Bhagavatam especially. Sukha means parrot. So he repeats and remembers everything that is given to him. That is Veda Vyasa's son. He's also a great rishi. Just like Lord Shiva said, he also is a great rishi. He narrated the Bhagavata Puranam to Parikshit, who was actually waiting for his death. So just before that, Sukdev narrates the Bhagavatam to him and liberates him from the samsara. Parikshit, of course, we all know who is that, the son of Abhimanyu, grandson of Arjuna. Now, Vyasa, Rishi Vyasa, was one of the attendees of the Rajasuya Yagna that I've mentioned in a previous session. He was also one of the attendees that was held, that was actually done by Yudhishthira. He arranged that, right? So Vyasa Muni also attended that. He actually showed his displeasure regarding how the Pandavas were treated and how they were sent for exile and how they were deceitfully defeated in a game of dice. All that he came and poured his displeasure to the king, Dhritarashtra. But hey, was the Dhritarashtra even in a state to listen to anyone? No. Why do you think he's a blind king? He never opened his eyes. So even after he heard that Duryodhana is planning to kill the Pandavas while they were in exile, even then he approached and he told the king, open your eyes, you need to do something, you can't keep quiet. So Veda Vyasa was there too. You should stop your sons, you should not let them do these things, and they're actually destroying the Kuru dynasties, is what he said. But the king did not give a heed to anything. Now, sage Veda Vyasa gave a lot of knowledge to Vidura. He really loved Vidur. Because here, sage Veda Vyasa is the father of Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Viduran. Correct? But mainly Dhritarashtra never gave heed to anything sage Veda Vyasa said. He never listened to him. But Viduran always listened to his father. Whatever sage said, the Rishi Muni said, he listened. Now, Veda Vyasa was like the media, right? Going with the camera and taking everything as it is happening. So he was like the media, recording every incidents that was happening in the war field, in the battlefield. He covered every single warrior, whether it is the Pandavas or the Kauravas. He covered every single one of them. That is how the Mahabharata was written. All that knowledge he brought back and he had to pour it into the book. The 18 days was very crucial, with so many significant things happening. So many things happened in that 18 days. The mastermind, Lord Krishna, and his charismatic ways with which every single problem was handled, every single hurdle was removed, every single Pandava was rescued and protected and shielded. It was magnificent. Everything was captured. After all this, Lord Brahma, knowing that Veda Vyasa has captured everything, he asked him to write the Mahabharata, the epic. He said, how do I write it alone? It's very difficult to do this alone. So Lord Brahma said, well, I have one person who can help you. You go and request Lord Ganesha, our beloved Lord Ganesha. So he said, okay, would he agree to do this? Then Lord Brahma said, yes, if you request, he will do it. So he said, okay. And he approached Lord Ganesha. He requested Lord Ganesha to write. And Lord Ganesha said, sure, I will write, but I have a condition. I'm very busy. He said, I have a condition. You will not stop reciting. I don't have time. You should continuously recite. I will continuously keep writing, he said. And the Maharishi was thinking, obviously, he can't continuously recite. He needs to take a breath once in a while. So he said, sure, I will do that. But if you don't mind, I have a request, he said. Veda Vyasa. He said, if you can understand everything that I'm saying before you write it, that will help a lot. That way you can tell me if I'm wrong anywhere. So Ganesha said, that makes sense. I will do that. So that gave him a break to take a breath once in a while. Because you can compete with Lord Ganesha in anything for that matter. So both agreed to each other's conditions and requests, and here we have our beautiful epic Mahabharata with us. So that should be our gratitude for Lord Ganesha and Veda Vyasa. Now there's a nice story which shows us the power of Veda Vyasa, what his power is and who he is. Veda Vyasa was sitting in the banks of the river Yamuna. It was flooded that day, and a few folks, devotees, were wanting to cross the river to go on the other side to see Lord Krishna. So they had this basket with them. They were carrying some goodies for him. So they sat and they waited, and they saw this rishi meditating under the tree. So they go approach him and they sit there quietly. So Veda Vyasa opens his eyes and sees all of them sitting there, and he asks them, what brings you here? The weather is bad. Why are you here? So they say, no, we have to cross the river to see Lord Krishna. We have some nice stuffs. Yeah, I see some nice baskets you have there. What do you have in there? So they say, I have some nice sweets made out of pure cow's milk and cow's ghee. And, oh, very nice. Can I see it? And then they open it and show it to him. And it was like so fragrant and so nice. She says, can I try it? So they say, of course, Rishi Muni, try it. So he starts eating, continues eating and eating and eating. He's almost done. He's like almost finished it. Just half is remaining. He can't eat anymore. He says, I'm really full now. So content I am. Okay, let me see how I can help you. He says, and he gets up from there. He gets up from there and he goes to the river and he does a mantram, jabam, and he says, if I have not eaten anything, you will part ways and let these devotees pass through you, he says. Understand, he says, if I have not eaten anything, you will part ways, that is, part and give pathway to for these devotees to pass through you. So it's like the river is parting ways and giving them a pathway to walk through it. These folks were like, didn't he just eat? Not just eat, he almost finished the basket. And he's telling the river, if I didn't eat, and then the river part ways. It actually gave them a pathway. It moves during the flood. It moves and they could see through, and they were stunned. They couldn't understand. He just ate. And he told the river, if I didn't eat. So they were confused all the way. They were like going past the thing and they went to the other side, and now they're looking for Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is nicely, sitting in the garden and gazing up in the sky and relaxing. So they go up to him and they say, Swami, and Lord Krishna looks at them and he's very happy. Oh, come, I'm so happy to see you. What brings you here? And then he sees the basket in their hands. Oh, you got something for me. And they were a little reluctant. He's like hesitant, because somebody ate it already. So there's like, oh, Swami, actually, the Rishi ate most of it. So I'm feeling a little awkward to give you this basket. Then Lord Krishna laughed and he said, no, no, no. Veda Vyasa, he didn't eat anything. I did. I stuffed myself. Don't worry. Those were really good. I really liked it, he said. It was me. I ate it. The devotees were shocked. They were shocked. So that's why, now they understood. That's why Veda Vyasa said, if I did not eat. So whatever Veda Vyasa ate, Lord Krishna took it. Lord Krishna consumed it. This we have seen during Durvasa's story also, which I mentioned during one of the sessions, where Lord Krishna had said, Durvasa is always fasting. Whereas Narada's only seen him eating a lot. So something very similar. So here Veda Vyasa had eaten, and then he said, Truptiya irukku, all that, I'm full. And then he said, I've not eaten. Everything is here in Krishna's tummy. Krishna accepted it. So when Veda Vyasa ate, it was not Veda Vyasa eating, it was Krishna eating. The Lord actually clarified everything and told them, I ate it. So they were clear now. They were like amazed at the amount of bhakti and surrender that Veda Vyasa had for Lord Krishna. He was so detached from everything that even what he consumed was consumed by the Lord. It was not consumed by the Rishi, the Maharishi. So he was so connected to the Parabrahma that everything that was consumed by him is an offering to the Lord immediately. Now we all know he's a Chiranjeevi, right? Veda Vyasa is a Chiranjeevi. He has appeared in a lot of great men, visions. Adi Shankara has seen him. So many in this Kali Yuga have seen him. Even, if you actually take up the jabam of Veda Vyasa, there are a lot of people who have seen him. So a lot of incidences where people have had his darshan. So Guru Purnima is the day we celebrate Maharishi Veda Vyasa. And given, obviously, why Guru Purnima? Because again, I said, he has given us all that literature, all that knowledge through Mahabharatam and Bhagavatam to improve our lives, to seek the Lord through detachment, through bhakti yoga. That is mainly, Bhagavatam is all about bhakti yoga. Just love. Love is all I need, is what Lord Krishna says. Love is all I need in Bhagavatam. And removing our ignorance and taking us towards the Lord. That is what He has done by giving us all that knowledge. That is why we celebrate Him. And He is the Guru on Guru Purnima. Gu means ignorance. Ru is remover. He is clearly the Guru. As we all know, Guru is an important element in our Hindu culture. Nowadays, the modern era teaches us independence. You don't need anybody. You just need yourself. There's no encouragement to go and seek a guru in our modern society now, especially. It's like no one is interested in getting to a higher state of consciousness. It's all about how we control things around us, how we take control of things around us. There is no how we can control our inside, our emotions, our mind. Nothing takes us towards here, the inside. Everything is about outside. How you can be strong, how you can climb the ladder, how you can be ambitious. And even if you get a mentor nowadays, the mentor only tells you how to climb the ladder. Whether it's an academic mentor or counselor, they're all there to tell you what is better, what field is better, what you can take to achieve a higher position. Whereas in our Hindu culture, we are all about seeking a higher consciousness, our true self. And for that, we need a guru. And we've seen this in our history. No king, no dynasty is present without a guru. Even a king needs an advisor. All kings had an advisor. That's why they're called Kula Guru. That is, that kingdom, that dynasty is Guru. They take guidance from that Guru. The king has to take his guidance and do whatever he says. Even the Devas had a Guru. Even the Asuras had a Guru. So there is no guru, such thing as no Guru in our Puranas. Adi Shankara, though he was an incarnation of Lord Shiva himself, Adi Guru himself, told us and showed us that Guru is needed. If you're seeking a higher ground, you need a Guru to mentor you. You need a Guru to take you by hand and proceed to the next level. It's not possible without a Guru. So in Hinduism, a Guru is so important. Now, Veda Vyasa taught us higher philosophy on dharma, politics, devotion, and ethical decisions. All this is in Mahabharata. Like I said, all elements, what we go through our lives today, you will find the solution in Mahabharata. You can just watch it and you will know. All the solutions are there in Mahabharata. So Guru Purnima marks the day we honor all our gurus. So that's the day we go. If somebody has taught you something, go and do namaskaram to that person. That is the day of the Guru. The day we show our gratitude to them for removing the darkness and leading us towards the light. The day we thank our Sri Amma for being there in our lives, always being there as our Guru, the Akhilandeshwari herself as our Guru, guiding us. Mathioli is the light, guiding us as the light. How grateful we should be. How it's such a blessing. What a blessing to have the actual goddess as a guru, right? I keep repeating this, but I like to repeat it because the more we repeat it, the more we understand and it sinks in, you know. Here we have the goddess as our guru. Which is beyond even Veda Vyasa. So we should always have that gratitude in mind. She's always leading us towards the truth. And we should be always grateful. Just like Lord Krishna led Pandavas towards the truth, she is leading us towards the truth. With that, I end this session. Mathioli Charanam, Jai Nandalala.